In the book of Ruth, we see it's mostly talks of in-laws, but the verses I am looking for does not have anything to do with that subject. So we will go to 1 Samuel. The law is not in 2 Samuel. In 1 Samuel, I just in-laws of the family, so we will move on. In 1 Kings, we find it time for David to die, and Solomon was to become king. And David said unto him, Now the days of David drew nigh, that he should die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go in the way of all the earth. Be thou strong before, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes, and his commandments, and his judgment, and his testimonies, as it is written in the laws of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and with wherever thou turnest thyself, that the Lord may continue his word which he spoke concerning me, saying, If thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, he said, a man on the throne of Israel. If you read on, and you will not hear or read of Solomon saying he would keep the laws of the Lord God of David. But let's see if I am wrong. In 2 Kings, this is the only place it is in, 1 Kings, and no in-laws. Solomon did not walk with God. I have to show you to move on. And the Lord was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which the Lord commanded. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, Forasmuch as this is done of thee, if thou hast not kept my commandments and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely redeem the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servants. Notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hands of thy sons. Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. Chapter 2, the historical background. Paragraph, or whatever, 5, Hebrew Kingdom. This period is the most glorious one from the middle point of view. In all Hebrew history, it began about 1100 BC and closed in 587 BC. Samuel announced Saul as the first king, who started approximately, but ended his career in disaster. His accomplishments were not outstanding. His reign of 40 years left the Hebrew people in a wrecked state, harassed by their enemies, and discouraged. David assembled leaders now and was the greatest of all the kings of the Jews. He reigned for 7.5 years at Hebron in southern Palestine, and then became king over all of the 12 tribes. He captured the ancient city of the Jebusites, which is Jerusalem, and made it the capital of his kingdom. He rapidly organized his forces, and in brilliant military movement soon subdued his enemies and gave to his people the great reign over all the kings. He died an old man. After 40 years' reign, he was succeeded by his son Solomon. Solomon inherited his strong kingdom, and then in a good minute, his great building program, including the fortress, his palace, and the temple of Jehovah in Jerusalem. Solomon's reign marked a climax of the golden age of Israel's history. The splendor and the fame of his reign were the pride of the Hebrews and the envy of the world. But he ended his career after 40 years' reign almost as a failure. The seed of the rebellion had been sown as a result of Solomon's lavish exterior of money and the consequent imprisonment of a very heavy tax, and immediately after his death, his rebellion broke out. His son Rehoboam succeeded him, and then the 10 northern tribes revolted and established the kingdom of Israel, which existed for about 250 years as a reveal in the southern kingdom Judah. Now in 2 Kings, we have a new king, that is Ahab. In the 12th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, did Azaniah, the son of Joram, king of Judah, began to reign. 22 years old was Ahaz when he began to reign, and he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Athaliah, the daughter of Omar, king of Israel. And he walked in the way of the house of Ahab, and did evil in the sight of the Lord, and did the house of Ahab, for he was the son-in-law of the house of Ahab. So we see evil now in the land, as it is today. As time went on from Ahab, we see evil is still there. But Jehu took no heed to walk in the law of the Lord God of Israel with all his heart, for he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin. It made all of Israel to sin, but the ones that took up with the laws of God was not put to death. But the children of the murderers he slew not, according unto that which was written in the book of the law of Moses, wherein the Lord commanded, saying, The father shall not be put to death for the children, nor the children be put to death for the fathers, but every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Creator God warned them to come back to him, or the curse would be there. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, Turn ye from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I command your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servant the prophets. Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but hardened their necks, like the neck of their fathers, that did not believe in the Lord their God. They would not hear, but they did harden their hearts to hear him. Now this is where we have to look at fearing the Lord. They feared the Lord, and served their own gods, after the manner of the nations whom they carried away from thence. And to this day they do after the former manners. They fear not the Lord, neither do they after their statutes, or after their ordinance, or after the law and commandments which the Lord commanded the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel, with whom the Lord had made a covenant, and charged them, saying, Ye shall not fear other gods, nor bow yourself to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice to them. But the Lord, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt with great power and a stretched out arm, shall ye fear, and him shall ye worship, and to him shall ye do sacrifice. And the statutes, and the ordinance, and the laws, and the commandments, which he wrote for you, ye shall observe to do for evermore, and ye shall not fear other gods. And the covenant that I have made with you ye shall not forget, neither shall ye fear other gods, but the Lord your God ye shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the hands of all your enemies. Howbeit they did not hearken, but they did after their former manner. So those nations feared the Lord, and served their graven images, both their children and their children's children, as did their fathers. So do they unto this day. Why would they want false gods instead of the true one? Now we see they put the graven image in the house of God. And he made his son pass through the fire, and observed times, and used enchantments, and dealt with familiar spirits and wizardry. He wrought much wickedness in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. And he set a graven image of the graven image that he had made in the house, which the Lord said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribe of Israel, will I put my name forever. Neither will I make the feet of the Israel move any more out of the land which I gave their fathers, only if they will observe to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the laws that my servant Moses commanded them. Then things got bad as time went on. But one day, and Hilkiah the high priest said unto Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Lord. And Hilkiah gave the book to Shaphan, and he read it. And Shaphan the scribe came to the king, and brought the king word again, and said, Thy servant have gathered the money that was found in the house, and have delivered it unto the hands of them that do the work, that have the oversight of the house of the Lord. And Shaphan the scribe showed the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest hath delivered me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. And it came to pass, when the king had heard the words of the book of the law, that he rent his clothes. I pray this will happen again, but this did not last too long. But in the 18th year, king of Joshua, therein this Passover was held to the Lord in Jerusalem. Moreover, the workers, and the familiar spirits, and the wizard, and the imagery, and the idols, and all the abominations that were spread in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem did Joshua put away, that he might perform the words of the law, which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Lord. And like unto him was there no king before him that turned to the Lord with all his heart, and with all his soul, and with all his might, according to all the law of Moses. Neither after him arose there any like him. As we can see, this was the last king that was like him, to turn all of Israel to God. We can say, when will this king be seen that will turn the world around for the God that loves us? It will happen when God sends his Son the last time. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I have to say, I have trouble spelling, but I have to say God has helped me to learn how to spell Israel. Look at how it is spelled, is real. To me, this is saying God is real.